So yesterday, our scientific advisory board did a masterful job at talking about the benefits of the product ZRII, right? And the benefits of what is Ayurveda. I'm going to spend just a few minutes and talk about some of the benefits and some of the life changes that have occurred within our company in individuals' lives over the past 8 months, okay? And I will say this, life changes, when we're changed by something, you know what, it doesn't happen all at once, typically. It usually is a series of steps, of small successes, of minor victories, okay? So now we're going to look through the window into the lives of two families, the Betchers and the Gonzaleses. I think many of you saw them last night, and before last night, I actually was not even aware that they were going to be on stage so much, so it's kind of coincidental. The first couple is Andreas and Stacy Betcher. Now, Andreas and Stacy Betcher are a very interesting couple. I got to say something about Andreas. He sort of called me out on stage last night. Did you see that? I've never been called out in a breakdancing competition during an award ceremony by somebody. Obviously, I had to respond. So there's a first time for everything, is there not? Andreas is a chiropractor, and Stacy is a dentist. They live in Anthem, Arizona. Now, it's funny because before we started getting into really the meat of my conversation with Andreas, he said, you know, it's funny because we opened our practice in Anthem three years before there were any other wellness centers or chiropractic offices. And so I was hugely successful there. There was no other competition. So when I was contacted about ZRII, I understood the value of timing, and I got in right away. And so it was just a really interesting side note on the importance of timing. But he said, you know, with all that success, he said it was really something that we didn't anticipate. And he said it came at a very, very high price. We were so busy, in fact, that when my second son, Caden, was born, we had to literally hand him off to the live-in nanny. We couldn't take care of him, and that was really a point of pain for us. And we realized what we were doing, that our business actually owned us. And he said that, you know, it was a series of pain points that caused us to realize that we needed to make a change. As a matter of fact, a lot of his patients that were coming to see him were patients who had illnesses or certain symptoms related to stress inducement. They were living, they couldn't deal with their stress or the anxiety in life. And he said, you know, I couldn't even take my own medicine that I was prescribing them, as it were, because I was a slave, essentially, to my business. And I hope I'm not mischaracterizing this, Andreas, but you know, he expressed this to me, and he sent me a couple pictures showing me how unhealthy he was. And I'm not putting them up here, but just got to take my word for me. The guy looked pretty unhealthy. And so they made a decision, and this was in February, that they decided to really get involved with ZRII full time. They had enrolled previously, but you know, didn't really know, you know, I guess what to do with it until they had a very interesting meeting with some partners of theirs, Dr. Robert Gonzalez, as well as their upline leadership, Marcel and Tyler, and this was at an event here in Salt Lake. And it was after this meeting with Marcel Niederhauser and Tyler that he decided, you know what, we've got to commit to this 100%. We've got to jump in with both feet. And what that implied to him was that he would need to sell his practice, which is what he and Stacy decided to do. Essentially, they burnt the ships. And they jumped into ZRII full time. Their volume jumped from 18,000 to 60,000 to 115,000 to last month. It was $264,000 in sales last month. New 8-star executives. Let me tell you, here's where I talk about changing lives. First thing Andreas told me was he was able to retire his mother. I can't think of a greater thing to be able to do that to change somebody's life, to be able to retire your mother. Every time I get choked up, I just think of Mike Myers, and it just brings me right out of it. They're now spending much more time together as a family, and they've actually gotten into great shape. You should see some of the pictures, and they've been able to participate in a lot of marathons. And Stacy competes in bodybuilding, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. Now, he sent me an email a few days ago that I will read for you. It says, Ryan, thanks for your time today. We're very excited about ZRII and the adventure ahead. One thing came to mind that I didn't get a chance to mention on the phone. The key to our turnaround and rapid growth lies in a simple paradigm shift. Dr. Gonzalez and I simply put our goals on hold and shifted the attention to our team. Supporting them allowed us to share this tremendous gift called ZRII from the heart, while simultaneously taking the pressure off us to build our goals. Doing so has ensured us a very stable organization, which in the end will allow us to reach our own goals as a side effect. To gain prosperity, you must share prosperity has literally become our mantra. Thank you very much, Stacy and Andreas, for letting us share that. I think that's a phenomenal story. The next family I want to highlight are the Gonzaleses. Dr. Robert and Ann Gonzalez. Dr. Robert Gonzalez started out as a police officer in Miami, Florida. Decided he needed a change in life, a change in lifestyle, so he and his wife decided that he'd become a chiropractor. They moved to Arizona. They did so. They created 2 very successful chiropractic offices. He discovered very quickly that he too was a slave to his own creation, as it were, and that his businesses owned him. Well, guess what happened? Stars aligned. He received a phone call from Andreas, and shortly thereafter, he joined up with them. He shared with me something very poignant. Some of the benefits he has gotten out of ZRII is his next-door neighbor Lisa Dice is a mother and has 2 children. Tice, excuse me. And she was able to quit one of her jobs. So was her life changed? I would dare say it was. And something that I've learned from Dr. Gonzalez, he said, Ryan, you know what the key to our success is? We focus on creating success in our organization. As a result, he's now able to spend time with his family. And he actually made the decision to get involved with ZRII when his daughter, 12-year-old daughter, said, Dad, we miss you. We don't care about all these things. We need you, not these things. We'd rather get rid of all these things and have you join us back in our family. So he actually sold both of his practices and his home and moved to California all in 1 month to ZRII on a full-time basis. And he's now enjoying over $260,000 a month in sales and is a new 8-star. So congratulations to Dr. Gonzalez. Guys, we all have goals. You need to understand that from the corporate standpoint, this is not an academic experience. My point tonight, or this afternoon to you, is this. What drives us to success is by reaching deep inside of ourselves and pulling out what is our why, right? Our why. What drives us? It can't be money, because money doesn't buy happiness. But retiring people, sending your children to college, those are the types of things that drive us. I have a why as well. And my why is my family and my son and my parents. And I know that my partners have the same. And this is what drives me. This is why I'm willing to spend, every week of the year in the field. You need to know how committed we are. Here's the Gonzalez family. They're very happy now. And we're committed to you long term. The stories I shared with you in the beginning about Dion, about the couple that drove here from Atlanta, it's that kind of commitment that is going to get you to where you want to be. You need to know how much we care about you and truly, truly love you. Do you believe that? Do you know that that's true? We're committed to doing whatever it takes to help you succeed. With that, this is going to be an extremely exciting session. Probably the best in my opinion. So I'm not going to take up any more time. Thank you very much. I look forward to working with you in the field. Take care.